The Hearts of Gold podcast is brought to you by the Grow and Share Network, produced by Off the Walter Media.
Welcome to Hearts of Gold. Today we have Shay with us. Hi, Shay.
Hi there. It's great to be here.
Can you tell us about your Gold Award project?
Yeah, of course, I would love to. So my Gold Award project was actually an art exhibition that was held in the Overture Center for the Arts Rotunda Gallery from September 10th to November 10th, 2024. The goal of the exhibit was to raise awareness for mental health among teenage girls in a positive way, because I feel being a teenage girl, I have so much firsthand experience with that issue. And so much of the talk about it is very negative. So I really wanted to bring light to it in a more positive way and showcase the strength and power of young women. And being an artist myself and having grown up loving art my entire life, I felt that one of the most powerful ways to sort of carry across that message was through art and through the art of teenage girls in the Madison and Dane County area. So I created an open call for the exhibit and received submissions from young women in high schools across the area. And myself and a couple of museum professionals from the Overture Center went through the submissions and through a jury process selected 16 artists to participate in the show. And they each created such unique pieces of work to demonstrate, their own experiences through like culture and sexual identity and wonderful topics like that. So overall, it was a really incredible show, and I found that many people were very impacted by it. I also created an exhibition catalog that listed each of the pieces of art included in the show, along with artist statements from each artist, sort of about their feelings and intentions with their pieces. And that is actually up on Amazon still today.
For those who aren't familiar with the Overture Center, can you tell us what that place is?
Yeah, of course. So the Overture Center for the Arts is a premier performing arts center in the heart of downtown Madison, Wisconsin. It's home to many Broadway musicals and orchestral musical shows and things like that. It's just a hub for performing arts and fine arts. And part of it is also, there are, I believe, 4 art galleries. And one of them, the one that my show was in, is called the Rotunda Gallery, which is facing the large windows right onto State Street. So I got a lot of foot traffic attention, which was really great.
How did you partner with Overture? How did that come about?
When I began the project, I sort of just started sending out emails, contacting local museum professionals to get any sort of connections that I could, because I myself was pretty unfamiliar with the process and the industry. So I sort of just kind of sent out random emails just to see if anyone would be interested in my idea. And the Overture Center staff was so incredibly, overwhelmingly supportive of my goals. So we just got connected and everything kind of fell into place from there.
What did you learn about yourself and how businesses work by sending out those blind emails?
That was definitely a huge sort of revelation for me, not to be afraid. Because at the beginning before I even began the project, it felt extremely out beyond my reach, if that makes sense. It was a really big undertaking, and I was pretty nervous that I wasn't going to be able to pull it off. But, it's important to just sort of go for what you want and to trust yourself. And you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to work out and how people are going to respond. So the best thing that you can do is try and hope for the best.
Who else was on your team to help you accomplish this goal?
Some of the Overture Center staff, and my project advisor was also, it's called the James Watchus Gallery, which is a separate exhibition space above the Overture Center. Jody Clowes, the director of the James Watchus Gallery, was an incredibly massive support, and she was actually the one who got me in contact with the Overture Center staff in the first place.
And how did you connect with her?
Again, it was just an email that I had sent out. I found her just browsing, and she seemed like a really cool lady with a lot of valuable experience that could teach me a lot. How
did you go about curating the exhibit after collecting all the artists?
The way that the open call worked is it was just through a form on a program called Airtable. And after we received the applications, it was myself. The jury was composed of myself, my project advisor, Jody, the museum coordinator, Megan Landon, and the Overture Gallery's director, Stephanie Berenz. And we hopped on a Zoom call and we just went through every application. We rated them with a number scale and then just chatted about, our visions and what we thought would fit. And after that, I sent out emails of acceptances or denials to the artists. And I sort of, that was another big portion of it, just trusting the artists to carry out their personal visions into what they thought would be best, because I didn't know what they were going to produce. I kind of just had to hope that it was going to fit in together. And they're all extremely accomplished artists, so it all worked out really well.
Did you stick with a specific medium, or were artists allowed to use whatever medium there was their preference?
We had a couple of restrictions just due to the gallery space itself. We had to stick with mostly 2D mediums, but we ended up with a really great range. We had some mixed media, lots of paintings, a collage. We actually had one sculpture piece that was a bit more 3D that we had to sort of find a special way to present on the wall space, but we were able to figure it out. I was really happy actually with the variety of media because it really sort of made it a more dimensional experience, I think, for visitors.
What was your biggest challenge during your project, and how did you overcome it?
I mean, rejecting people is never easy. That was definitely, I think, the hardest part for me, because you never want to say no to anybody. And everybody who applied was so capable and amazing. And when you're working with other people, it can't always be exactly what you want. Sometimes you have to make sacrifices just for the whole of the project. So I think that was definitely a massive challenge to overcome. It's really hard. It's not fun. And sending those emails out was definitely the most difficult part for me, I think.
You also created an Instagram account to promote the exhibit. And if people want to see the exhibits, there's artist spotlights on that Instagram. Can you tell us about the creation of that Instagram and how you managed it?
Most of the posts were made through the program Canva. And just throughout the process of the exhibit, I wanted to keep people updated. And it was also a means of promotion as well, to get people involved and aware of the exhibition's presence before its opening and throughout and also after. And also a way to get the artists' names out there, because a lot of them are hoping to continue on professionally in the field. So it was a really great way. I'm really happy with the attention that it received, and how long I was able to keep it updated with the artist spotlights, like you mentioned, and updates regarding different events such as the reception, the gallery reception, and the opening and closing of the exhibit as well.
Can you tell us about that gallery reception?
There were two technically. One of them was for her art exhibit Solely, which was on September 10th, the day of the opening. And I was very lucky to have Channel 3000 come and do an interview with me on live television as well. That was an amazing experience, and really tested my public speaking skills. And the turnout for the reception was pretty incredible. All of the artists came and brought family and friends, and the gallery space was really packed. And there was just such a cool energy in the room. And it was a really proud moment for me.
Outside of the reception, do you have any other special memories from your project?
Definitely reading the gallery guest book. We had a guest book right by the beginning of the exhibition where visitors were able to write their thoughts and feelings about the pieces and things like that. And when I went through it for the first time, I was really just overwhelmed and so happy to see the impact that I was able to make on people and just the messages that were received. And yeah, that was really incredible.
Can you tell us about your time management skills you had to put into place for this?
So for this project specifically, I was juggling a lot of moving parts because I had deadlines for both like the Overture Center gallery staff, and I had 16 young women that I was also having to coordinate and receive several rounds of materials from. So I really just had to keep on top of it and check my email multiple times a day and make sure that I was keeping track of every deadline that I could, because I couldn't really afford to let anything slip. Otherwise, I would be letting people down from several ends. So
what did you learn about the Gold Award process itself that could be helpful for future Gold Award Girl Scouts?
Definitely just staying on top of all of the steps and go gold, getting a head start on your final report as well is super helpful because it takes a lot longer than one might think. And it's the final step. So even after you've completed your project, you've still got a lot to do. So I think it's good to keep that in mind and get a head start on it if you're able, so you don't get too overwhelmed afterwards. But overall, it was really incredible. I'm so thankful to Girl Scouts for having provided me this opportunity, because this is never something I would have done without this organization. So
can you share your sustainability component?
A small variety of things. Like I mentioned earlier, I created and designed both a website which catalogs the every piece and all of the artists, linking them to Instagram pages and things like that. And I also created and designed an exhibition catalog that was available in print at the reception and is also still available on Amazon for anybody who would like to buy it and see the pieces. So both of those are still up and running today for people to find. And I am hoping to partner up with the Overture Center again in the future to possibly just encourage other young people to pursue projects similar to this one.
What other Girl Scout experiences have you had?
So I've actually been a Girl Scout for an incredibly long time, since I believe first grade. So I'm coming up on 11-ish years. So I've had a lot of really great memories growing up. I'm still friends with a lot of the girls in my troop today. Even though people have come and gone, I've been able to retain those relationships, which has been great. I think my favorite part about being in Girl Scouts is definitely volunteering. My troop loves to volunteer at food pantries, and the Ronald McDonald House as well. We love getting together and cooking and just supporting those in need. So I think those are some of my favorite experiences for sure.
You're also a world traveler. Can you tell us about your travel experiences?
I love traveling. It's one of my favorite things to do, and I'm so grateful that I've been able to travel with my family. I just think it's such a valuable experience to be able to see how other people live and experience different places of the world. This past fall, I was so lucky to go to Paris with my mom for the second time. I went when I was younger, at about 8 or so years old, and it was always a big regret of mine because I was sort of at an age where I wasn't old enough to really appreciate everything that I was seeing. So for my 17th birthday, me and my mom went back, and I was able to re-experience all of those pieces of artwork in museums from a completely new perspective, which was really special. I also went to Spain last spring break to visit my brother who was studying abroad. We went to Barcelona and Valencia, which was really amazing. And this coming up after school, that's out in mid-June, me, my mom, and my brother are going to go to Peru to hike Machu Picchu and see some history and experience some cool things. So I'm really excited for that.
What are you thinking about for your future?
I think I mentioned earlier, I'm also an artist myself. I like to draw, and I'm interested in character art and animation. So that's a potential path for me. But I've also always been interested in art history. So that might be another potential path. It's still trying to figure things out, but I know it's going to be something art related because that's been my passion since before I could remember. So I'm really excited to see where life takes me.
What else would you like to share with the audience?
Trust yourself and follow your dreams. And if something seems too big and too out of your reach, that's okay. And just give it your best, and you'll never know what can happen.
How do you make your s'mores?
My s'mores, I like to make them burnt a little bit. I'll set them on fire for a tiny bit until they're just a little crispy. And then chocolate and graham crackers. You can't go wrong.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Make sure to click follow or subscribe so you always know when new episodes are released. Power your passion and conquer your challenges.
Thank you for listening. If you'd like to be on the show to share your story of how you earned your Gold Award, reach out and send an email to growandsshare@outlook.com. Be sure to catch up on our previous shows on any of your favorite podcasting platforms, as well as view the full video versions at youtube.com/Cheryl M. Robinson. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.